Hey, what's up guys, it's King Nerdy Python coming at you with yet another movie review. So I want to rewatch the first film before going into this, given that it's been so long since I saw that one, and from what I remember, it just didn't really leave me with that strong of an impression, and also I really wanted to be able to make connections without feeling like I didn't know what the hell was going on. So Godzilla King of the Monsters is a sequel to 2014's Godzilla, starring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who were this father and son duo working alongside the Science Division Monarch to defeat these giant insects called Mutos, and with the help of Godzilla himself are able to actually pull through. This film takes place in the present, 5 years after those events, where Monarch has various labs around the globe studying the giant monsters referred to as Titans. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have mixed feelings about this film, given that it has a lot of the same flaws I hated about the first, which were boring scientific field segments involving the human cast. With that being said, there are a few things I did enjoy that I'll start off with first. Number one, I really love how this film explores the mythos of kaiju lore by introducing us to multiple monsters within the monsterverse. Every monster presented had its own name with distinctive traits that complemented, like Rodent for example, and I forgot what the female scientist referred to him as. I think she called him the god of fire or the fire god, but whatever it was, it really fits, as every time he flew you could just see a trail of flames behind his wings that just really calls for some mass destruction. Ken Watanabe reprising his role as Dr. Serizawa was also pretty awesome, and he was one of the few humans I actually liked or even cared about. He's a high-ranking scientist and monarch and just knows so much about Godzilla and his supposed role in the upkeep of our planet, and you really buy him as this sort of enlightened individual among, a group of otherwise idiots just running around not knowing how to handle the Titans. Another great thing about this film was Zhang Zi as Dr. Eileen Chen, who was the actual mythologist working at Monarch. She was a very cute and adorable Asian woman who, just like Watanabe's character, seemed so knowledgeable about the Titans, and she was actually the character that provided us with all the names and descriptions for each of the monsters. I also loved that she was used sparingly like an informant, and not so much that she became annoying like some of the other characters. Last, the monsters looked and sounded great as you'd expect from a tower-sized creature, and you could almost feel the rumble of their movement as they squared off against each other. So those were the things I liked about the film. Now let's get into the things I disliked about the film, starting off with the sci-fi aspect. Just like the first film, the movement of these giants were tracked using sonar and radar equipment that the characters would whip out for just about every occasion, and it just really sort of took me out of the film. Every time there was a tremor, somebody would yell, "Seismic activity," or "I got a reading one." It's just like, come on now, we know damn well that it's just a Titan moving under the surface. It just felt so forced, as if we really needed that much logic in a film about giant monsters, and the fact that there's so much of it here really causes the film to slow at a certain point, and I just remember feeling very impatient for monster action, as we watch boring human interaction instead. Millie Bobby Brown's character Madison and her family also don't make the film any better, as they felt sort of out of place, and they try to hold broken home side plot to make you care for the characters, but you really just don't. I couldn't help but compare it to the whole family plot that William Macy and Tia Leone had going on in Jurassic Park 3 with their son, which actually worked in that film given that it wasn't the main focus and all the other main characters felt just as important. Dr. Rick Stanton, played by Bradley Whitford, was also a negative as this really annoying would-be funny character that just felt so cliche. I couldn't help but feel the cringe every time he spoke, knowing that it's supposed to be funny but really just isn't, and as a whole the film really just kind of falls flat on the humor aspect, as I remember there only been like one or two good times where I laughed out of the film's many attempts. Guys, Godzilla King of the Monsters was an okay film, not terrible but not great at the same time. Though the monsters were cool and fought epically on land as well as the sky, I'm sad to say that too much of the human element really just drug the film down, so I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 5 snake eggs. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review and found it insightful. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below, and as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.